Thank you, Nikki. Now, the rental market is tight, so if you find a place that you like and you want to rent it, you need to get the best application you can with some hints for renting the home that you really love. Here is our real estate expert, Cashmore. Welcome. Can you explain why it is so tight with the rental market at the moment?
Look, what happens in Australia is obviously we know that our house prices are high, particularly when you want to live in those areas that people need to live, which is around our major job centres, which is the capitals. So, you know, around those areas, when we go through a market like we've been through over 2011, where there's not many people buying, people are feeling very cautious and very worried about what's happening to the economy, so they're saving more. So there's less people buying, which means that there's more people renting. And so vacancy rates go down. And nationally, if you look nationally at our vacancy rates, they hover around 2%. They're actually just a little bit under 2% at the moment. And what that means is that actually shows that we have a critical shortage of housing in Australia. We don't have enough housing for people, and of course that just puts more people in rental stress. And what's really interesting at the moment is that people are paying nearly 30% of their income on renting a home, and that's a phenomenal amount. And these are people that haven't bought, they can't afford to buy, they're renting, and particularly for people that are singles, they don't have, you know, someone to combine their wage with. How do you save for a house when you're spending nearly 30% of your income that's renting a property? And that is because we have a shortage of rental accommodation. Not everywhere. There's always some areas where, you know, the supply eases and everything, but in those areas where people particularly want to live, that's where it's very difficult.
So what it's creating is something called rental bidding. Can you explain what it is?
Oh, look, rental bidding, yeah. Now, it's discouraged in all states. It's actually illegal in some states. And you can imagine when you're going to buy a house, everybody hates auctions. You know, the last thing you want to do is be pushed up against someone else who's got more money than you. And because what's been happening when you get a very tight rental market is that there has been rumours and there has been stories about agents that are pushing up renters against each other. So they advertise for, say, a reasonably low price, a price that they wouldn't normally rent the accommodation for, and then what they actually do is they get people to submit offers, and they'll say to one person, oh, well, they've offered so much a week, and, you know, you've got to offer a little bit more than that if you want to get in the place. Now, look, it is outlawed in some states and it is widely discouraged, and most people would look down upon it. And if it does happen, then, you know, I always say, consult Consumer Affairs, get in touch with Consumer Affairs and let them know what's happening.
I think we've got state-by-state details on our website.
Yeah, we do have state-by-state details because it is difficult. But you see, there's nothing to essentially stop a tenant saying, well, I'll give you $20 more a week in rent. Now, there's nothing to stop somebody doing that. And you can imagine, well, that's right.
I have done that because you get desperate. And particularly, I've got pets. And so I know that when there's a rental crush like this, I mean, the RSPCAs are full of animals that people can't keep because they can't rent with them. So I will throw in a few, you know, bones, as it were,
I mean, that's true. We did have a vet recently that called, you know, for landlords, let pets come into your house, you know.
Can we maybe move on? That's great advice to Catherine. Some great tips for people to get the rental property that they want.
Look, I mean, there's different laws in each state, but as a general rule, when you go for a rental, what you're trying to do is, it's a little bit like going for a job interview. You've got to appear clean. You've got to appear presentable when you go in the house because the landlord wants you to look. So first impressions do count. Be ready to apply. So as soon as you've seen the property, go through and be ready to place your application with a property manager. Be proactive with the real estate agent, so contact them every week, let them know that you're looking for a rental because they can help you with that and they can suggest places when they come onto the market. Offering a long tenancy helps because no landlord wants their property to be vacant for any period of time. And, you know, have good references. So get references of your land, and these references are checked, by the way. Good property managers will check your references. So, you know, don't try and fool anyone with your references, but have good references.
Great advice.
That looks like you've got a good job. And
now, what we love doing with you every week is you do What It's Worth, we get a property and you get us to guess how much it's worth. We don't know where it is. Now, this week we thought it'd be fun to look at a property and guess how much does that cost to rent.
Yeah, that's right. So time for What's It Worth? OK, now we're going to show some slides of this property. This is a one-bedroom property. So what you've got here is you've got the outside there. So obviously we're looking at an apartment. Now I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is.
Can you tell us whether it's regional or in a city?
It's in a city.
In a city.
Yeah. So
yeah, getting a good
look,
vibe.
it's quite nice. It's not overly flash, but this is the living area. There you've got the bathroom, which is quite nice. All mod cons in your bathroom.
Sorry, how many bedroom was it?
It's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 living area, your small outdoor area, which you can see there, which is quite nice, and that's always a bonus when you get a 1 bedroom. It does have off-street parking. And there's
now we're
your
talking.
beach. So there you go. Now what you need to do is you need to tell me what you think. What would you pay per week to live in a 1 bedroom?
If we had no budget restrictions.
Yeah, I mean, what would you pay per week? I mean, that's, no, on your budget now. Just think about your.
Oh, that's a lot of lying on my part about my pets.
That's right.
But if I were a young single lady,
Yes.
was it $250 or something a week? Is that
Okay.
crazy? Crazy?
No, I think that's a fair guess. I think that's a fair and reasonable
It's hard
guess.
for me to do, because I actually own that property.
Oh,
Part of my portfolio. I've got them all around the country. And for that, I'm charging about $650 a week.
$650 a week.
I was going to say.
I hope you're never my
I
landlord.
know, isn't it awful?
I was going to say about $450, 1 bedder.
Yeah.
It's a swanky bathroom, I think $450.
Okay.
I think being so close to... It looks like
You were
it's pretty
so good
close to
last
the
week.
beach. I know I had a good record last week. I'm going to go... I'm going to go 520.
$520 a week. Okay, let's reveal what's it worth. It's actually rented for $425 a week.
Stanzi!
So really good dress. So $425 a week, but really, when you think about it, when somebody for a lot of people, that's half their wage.
God,
you know,
yeah.
that's
Gee, that's a lot of
that's
money.
not including
Good
your
parties,
water
though.
bill.
You couldn't afford to party.
Let me tell you where it is. It's in Elwood.
Elwood, I was going to say, look at
in
Elwood.
Victoria, in Melbourne. So it's about 8 kilometres from the city, south of the city. And you've got the beach, and you've got Luna Park, which is very close. St Kilda's
of restaurants.
Ackland Street is very close. So it's in an area, and it's very sought after. There's no accommodation there. It's all built up. Beautiful tree-lined streets, canopied streets. So beautiful area and very popular with renters.
Please thank Catherine Cashmore for that terrible news. Next, we're off to Bondi Beach for a world record attempt involving thousands of people and some giant inflatable thongs. Shoes, not G-string style. Now, there's an image for you. You're watching The Circle. Please come back.